All right, hey everyone, happy Sunday. First, I want to just start off with again, thank you for all the subscribers that I gained this week. I am so excited that you were interested enough to subscribe. It gave me some news this week and it kept this week entertaining because, as you know, there's not a lot going on in our lives right now. So that was something to look forward to every time I got a little bing or realized that my subscribers went up. So thank you. Again, want to encourage everyone that if this upcoming video is something you enjoy, please remember to like and subscribe if you want to get all notifications on any future videos. And when you subscribe, for those of you who would like to, remember to tap the bell for all notifications so that way you don't miss anything and you're the first to know. Okay, so I'm going to dive right in. I don't want to waste your time. So I know my last video, it talked about kind of how we're all coping, really some tips and some tricks to cope with social distancing. And I wanted to follow up on that with a little change things up a little bit. But first off, I just want to let you know I am taking my own advice. So for those of you, I know I made some jokes about us not being able to go to hair salons and stuff. I said I've been doing my hair for years, but I did try something new. I'm not trying to get likes or anything for that, but I just want to let you know I am trying new stuff, and I didn't just tell you to do something I'm not doing. So it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted to, but it was a protective style, and I got YouTube and Pinterest to kind of help me out, and I've been playing around with it, but hey, it's good enough for me. And then I also tried a new meal. I know last time I said I tried quesadillas, and this time I made kind of a pasta dish. So it wasn't bad. I had my own little flavor, but there's just, I got some pointers for how I'm going to change it up next time. So I am filling my time with those very same tips that I gave all of you. So, in addition, I know the last video, like I said, it was a lot more fun. Just how do we pass the time? How do we keep life interesting with all that's going on? But I also wanted to follow up on the other aspect of how we are coping, because there is that serious element, because a lot is going on. We all know the world has drastically changed since this has all taken place, and since we've all been now requested to stay at home and socially distance ourselves. And our world before all this happened may never be that way again, and it doesn't mean that life can't be great. It doesn't mean that we won't get back to a new normal. That's good, but it just means the carelessness that maybe we had before we don't have anymore, and we may never experience that way again. So I just wanted to again touch base on how are you coping with the changes in our lives. Some people, it has affected them in a little more heavily than others, and really there is that emotional aspect of how you are coping. And I wish I could sit here and say, oh, it's been a breeze for me, I've just done my tips and tricks and everything's been great and I've been so happy. I can't say that. There are days where it's like, yes, I'm working from home, and I'm so grateful to the Lord that I get to work. But then there's just that emotional, sometimes you're having lows, like it's just life isn't the way I remember it being. I can't even go out to little places just to be around people or to be around my favorite settings. Sometimes you just like to go out and I'm a Barnes and Noble person, or I love the Des Moines Outlet Mall. I can't even go there. So just those little things that suddenly are stripped from you, little interactions, and it does affect you emotionally. And so, like I said, I've had my own kind of ups and downs. And it got me thinking about just how life does have those moments. This just happens to be one that's affecting the whole world. But like it or not, as part of life, we all have those moments where things drastically change, and we all have to cope with those changes. And I thought about my character, Regina. I brought her up here as a little visual. I'm not going to talk fully on the book, but there is a point to this. So I wrote this book a few years ago, back in 2016, and I started thinking about her character. And her story is such a fascinating one because she is a young character. She's a senior in high school when we meet her in the book. And she is a young person who literally, her last years as a teenager, her last years in really that young part of life, that innocent part of life, she goes through a drastic change in her life, where the world that she knew, the world that she created for herself, goes completely topsy-turvy, and everything that she knew, everything she depended on is gone, and she's really restarting her whole life. Now, one thing about Regina is she made this choice. I want y'all to picture, this was the girl, kind of the it girl. She was around the popular kids in high school. She entertained herself with just a lot of things that in the book that she does is things that she shouldn't be doing at her age. A lot of the stuff, sometimes they're doing things illegally. I want you to picture, like, in that movie or that sitcom based on high schoolers, that typical house party where there's a bunch of stuff going on, where everybody's going to get killed if their parents find out about it. This is kind of the arena. These were the atmospheres that Regina chose to hang out in, and it wasn't anything like she wasn't doing it because, oh, I'm trying to fit in. No. This girl, she fit in. She was in that crowd. That's how she rolled. But she eventually, some things happened where she had to put some things in perspective. And she realized life was deeper than, it was about more than just entertaining herself, more than just socially thriving. And when she made that decision to start valuing the more important things in life, she still enjoyed life, but she chose to go a different path. And it did cost her something to make that decision, because not everyone was receptive of that. So I got to thinking about her and just how, although it's two separate situations, there's a lot about her story that really is very beneficial now. I can say for myself, all that's been going on, it has caused me to really pause and think about my life. Think about sometimes all the things that I've wasted with my time, and even financially. You know, sometimes you don't realize how you are just wasting and blowing money for no reason. I'm not saying there's a problem with wanting to go out and buy something nice or buy yourself a new outfit, even if you don't need it. There's nothing wrong with that. But then sometimes you don't realize how much you do that, or sometimes you're just doing it to do it. And one of the best examples I had was one day I really wanted to just go buy something so bad. And I'm like, you're not, Carmen, you're not going anywhere. I think I wanted some new Converses. And I was just, it kind of like, I had to slow down and be like, I'm not going anywhere. I don't need Converses right now. I've got plenty. If I was going out more, maybe that'd be okay. But when you're really just going to be walking right back in the house, you don't need that right now. Why don't you put that money to something else? And so this is a very important time to evaluate your life. What are those areas that you kind of maybe have gone in a destructive path? And I'm not saying it's destructive as in necessarily literally killing you or destroying your health. That may not be the case. But maybe it's destructive in the financial. Like I said, for me, I really realized I've wasted a lot of money on fast food, on Starbucks, on books that I saw and impulsively bought and then didn't even read right away. And that's why I have like 5 books sitting up in my room that I still haven't read because I just bought them impulsively. And meanwhile, some of my other financial goals of putting money in my savings account or saving up for something bigger, that's why I haven't yet attained to those goals, because I'm wasting money on being impulsive. And that's something, it's been a chance for me to evaluate that. So maybe that is your situation. Now's the time to evaluate, how am I spending my money? Maybe you're a person who's like, one day I want to buy a home. And you're realizing, the savings for that home is not going anywhere. Perfect time right now. Evaluate. Are you spending your money frivolously? This is the best motivation to really redirect yourself. Unlike Regina, she kind of made that decision on her own that this is what I'm going to do. We're kind of getting thrown in. This is like cold turkey. A lot of us, even if you were the kind of person who ran out and was really sociable, and you were someone even who enjoyed that kind of excited, lively atmosphere that she did, you're not doing that right now. All those arenas, they're closed. We can't even go to sports arenas. You ain't going, so you definitely ain't going to those kind of places. But this is a chance, we're being thrown in it. So let's make the most of it. I know I talked about finances. Another thing is consumption, and that goes to food consumption. How much are we eating? How much have we been eating? I'm talking about before this happened. Maybe we know there are things physically that are not good about us. This is a great time to evaluate it. This is a great time to implement those plans. This is about investing in yourself. Another thing is maybe you are consuming substances you shouldn't be consuming. You are looking to those substances to bring relief, and you really shouldn't do it. It's wrong. It has more control over you than it should. This is a great time to evaluate it and turn over that new leaf. Start fresh. fight to be different. Fight to change that habit. Maybe you have ran with the wrong crowd, and you have thirsted to just fit in, and now you can't even get around the people who made you feel important or made you feel a certain kind of way. This is a great chance to reevaluate the kind of friends and the kind of people you really should be around, the kind of people you really deep down maybe want to be around, who are going to build you up, who are going to cause you or encourage you to make something more out of your life. So I want to just encourage you all to think that way, evaluate your life. That is what I have been doing. And definitely if you are walking with God, I would encourage you, if you're not walking with God, I'd encourage you to start, because that has helped me. There have been some low times, like I said, just since this has been going on. And what helps is knowing that I can go to God and say, Lord, I don't really know how to deal with this, or I'm not quite sure how I carry on or how my life direction is supposed to go in the light of all that's going on. The wonderful thing about it is when you do have God is you can go to somebody who knows your path. You can go to somebody who knows you better than anybody, and he can actually direct you and help you take it day by day and do something purposeful and meaningful with your life and help you become even a better person, even attain those or achieve those desires that you have for your own life. So, like I said, I just want to encourage you, take this time to evaluate, to really look at your life and realize this is your chance to change things up. This can be a new start for you. Yes, there's a lot of tragedy that has happened, but this can still be a new start for you. You are here. You yet have life. Thank God. It's a blessing. Don't let this be where you're going to just go back. You're waiting to just go back to some of those things that you know you don't need to go back to, whatever they may be. Let this be that opportunity to set a new pace, to set a new habit. So I hope that everything I shared, I hope it's helpful for you. And please, if you have any comments or any suggestions that would help, tips, drop them in the comments, please. I want to hear them too. I don't have all the answers. So this is just to get the ball rolling. But if there's other things that you're evaluating, maybe that I didn't even call out, bring them out. Or, whatever it is, family values, whatever. I don't have children. There are certain things I'm not going to think about. You parents out there, this time that has given you to maybe spend with your children, you drop out how this has maybe helped you reevaluate things. You married couples, you drop out how this has maybe helped you evaluate things in your marriage and bring you closer together to your spouse, whatever it may be. Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from it. And again, thank you all for tuning in. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be talking to you all soon.